guys, we're coming on today to talk about where to get free school supplies in 2025. I really appreciate that someone asked this question in yesterday's stream, and I love getting these resources out to you guys. So I wanted to take a few minutes to talk about this today. So, first up, have you ever gotten help with school supplies? And if so, would you please drop those resources in the chat? I spend a lot of time researching and aggregating this information, but I also know that there may be things out there that I miss because a lot of these resources are so very local in nature. So, if this is something that you have experience with, I would love to see you guys help each other out in the comments. I think that's all. Oh, sorry. I think that's always one of the best benefits of doing this in this live stream format is being able to help each other with those resources. So with that in mind, let's go ahead and review this shocking statistic. I don't know if you guys know this, but the average household spends $890 a year budgeting for back to school shopping. And that's according to Capital One Shopping. That is mind blowing to me. I homeschool my kids, so that's not an expense that we necessarily deal with. We see our education expenses in different ways, but $890 is a lot. So it's no wonder why so many people need this extra help and support. So now let's talk about where you can go to get some extra help. So I'm going to lead with some of the main free backpack giveaways that we're going to see across the country. Wireless Zone is really good about this. Every single year, they give away tons of backpacks to people who need them. And the way that it works in this case is they have 759 locations. Not all of them participate, but many of them do. And all of the locations that do participate give away those backpacks at the same time, at the same day. So, what you're going to be looking for is July 27th at 1 p.m. That giveaway begins, and you can receive one free backpack with school supplies in it per child while supplies last. So to see if they have a participating location in your area, what you're going to want to do is go to the Wireless Zone website, use their locator tool, and then select the free backpack giveaway filter, and that will help you figure out if the location near you is participating in that giveaway. So another great option we have is Learner Row. These are injury attorneys. And I know that might not be where you would think to go for free school supplies, but these guys are actually really awesome. They do free Christmas giveaways as well. They do free school supplies giveaways every year. It's really, really awesome. So I'm going to see if I can minimize me for a minute and make sure that you guys can see this chart, hopefully bigger on screen there. That is a screenshot from our website, lowincomerelief.com, where we have listed the schedule for these free backpack giveaways. And each backpack, of course, is full of supplies and things like that. So Learner and Row operates these giveaways in 7 different cities. You can see they've got Albuquerque, New Mexico, Las Vegas, Nevada, Bullhead City, Arizona. I can't quite get it big enough on my screen to be able to see where they all are. I apologize, but Phoenix, Tucson, Chicago. I think that's in there. Those dates are all on screen for you there. Hopefully, you guys can see that next Sunday. You have to be there pretty much when they open because this is a first come, first serve sort of event. I would recommend getting there early and getting in line. You can see we've listed the quantity of how many backpacks will be given away at those events. And you want to make sure that you're not late or you're probably going to miss out on those. Now, 2 of those dates, the one in Phoenix and the one in Chicago, both have additional giveaways attached to them. It sounded like there was going to be like face painting and a whole like carnival thing. So, so you probably don't want to miss those if you're in that area. So let's go ahead and keep moving because I don't want you to be discouraged if you don't live in those 7 cities. We still have a ton of resources that can help with this. So moving on here, the slides are a little slow today. Okay, so one of the things that we know is that there are a whole lot of different national organizations and charities that have assisted with this in the past and still currently assist with this. So we're going to go over a brief review of those now. One thing I need you to understand before we dive into that list is these big nationwide charities often operate in a very local way. So just because it's available in one area doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be available in all areas, but it should be available at least in many areas. So definitely check with your local chapter to see if this is something that they offer. So Salvation Army is usually really good about helping get backpacks, school supplies, shoes, and clothes to those who need them. Those programs usually begin in July, so you're going to want to inquire about that very early and very soon here because we're already partially through July. Assistant League's Operation School Bell is another amazing program. It helps with both school supplies and clothes. They can also provide scholarships and other support as well. And then we yeah, many Catholic charities are a great resource. Catholic Charities is great, and I don't want you to feel discouraged if you're not Catholic because you don't have to be to get help from this organization. They do help everyone. They're just a part of the Catholic faith. So the United Way also has some great drives that they do. A lot of those tend to be distributed through other parties like community action agencies and that sort of thing. So you may want to call the 211 helpline to see if they're aware of anything in your area or how they're coordinating those giveaways. Love Inc. is another great resource. I've confirmed school supply giveaways from Love Inc. in Oregon, Ohio, Michigan, and several other states. Um, Again, that's very, very local. So just because one Love Inc. is doing it doesn't necessarily mean that the one in your area is, but it is an indicator that that is something that they do offer in other areas. So it's always a good idea to follow up with them and see if that is something that they can help you with. And we also have, oh yeah, St. Vincent de Paul is great too. And even if your local St. Vincent de Paul isn't helping with school supplies specifically, a lot of them do offer clothing vouchers. And that's going to be like a coupon or like a like a pass that you can take into the St. Vincent de Paul thrift store to get clothing, which I mean that's a another back to school thing that a lot of people spend a lot of money on. So that is a great resource as well. And oh yeah, local boys and girls clubs can often help if your kids are enrolled in that. They call it a back to school campaign. Definitely look into that as well. Oh yeah, and food banks. Somebody mentioned this on the stream yesterday. Food banks are a great resource if you need help with school supplies. That does depend on donations. Some unfortunately don't receive those kinds of donations, but because of what food banks offer, they're often very well connected to your community, and they're going to know if there are other organizations in your area that are offering that support. So definitely reach out to them. And then one thing, let me see. Oh no, okay, we have one more charity in here. Operation Homefront does provide back to school support for military families as well through their back to school brigade. They do hundreds of thousands of backpacks every year. So if you are a military family, look for that back to school brigade event, possibly on base or in the schools near you. And you can always reach out to Operation Homefront as well. All right. Now, one thing that I want you to know, because I think a lot of people are covered by this and don't know about it, is that there has been an increase in state laws that require schools to provide all of the necessary supplies for education, especially to low income students. So we know that both California and Michigan are doing this. So if you're in those states and you get a school supplies list and you can't afford it, I wouldn't really sweat it because it looks like state law mandates that the school provide that to you. Um, Definitely worth looking to see if there is a state law in your state that covers that, or if someone has proposed a state law that maybe you can reach out to your elected lawmakers and help support that kind of initiative because that can be really, really helpful. Uh, Okay. So, in addition to that, even if it isn't mandatory, a lot of schools and school districts will have extra supplies on hand for families who are experiencing financial hardship. Now, I do want to put a little bit of a caution on that because if you go ask your teacher in your classroom, a lot of times that support is going to come out of the teacher's own paycheck because teachers are notorious for spending a lot of money on supplies for their students specifically. The school district itself often has resources. The school office may have resources. And if they don't, please direct them to the article on our website because we do have a subsection where for charities and programs that will give free school supplies to teachers or schools or school districts who need them. So a lot of those organizations don't want to worry about vetting who does and doesn't need them on a family by family basis. So instead, they offer that support directly to the schools. But a lot of times, the schools and the teachers don't know about it. So you can bring that to their attention and hopefully bring more of that support into the classroom as well. Um, Yeah, and this last slide is kind of sad because in previous years, when we went over this list, I was able to tell you about all these cool Medicaid groups that were offering school supplies assistance. Some plans in some states were offering up to $150 a year to help students with school supplies expenses. It's not clear if that's continuing, and I would honestly really doubt it with the changes and the cuts that we've seen coming to Medicaid. Um, it's possible that because those plans are made usually, for the next calendar year, that support may still be available depending on your plan for this year. So I still wanted to mention it because if you're in one of those states that has one of those really nice plans, maybe it's still an option. I hope it's still an option. Um, if it is, you're going to want to visit your plan provider's website. A lot of times, what was the word for it? Is that associated services or non-health related needs is another common term that they use to refer to this sort of thing. You can also call and talk to your plan provider, ask your caseworker or state agency if they're aware of any of those things. But don't be surprised if that support is dwindling this year just due to those Medicaid cuts that are happening. And then, of course, this very last ditch effort here, if you're not able to get support from any of the programs that we've talked about, our sponsor Free Cash does earn some cash. You can get paid for playing games, testing apps, that sort of a thing. And you can see our affiliate link there on screen if you would like to go ahead and test that out. No pressure, of course, as always. So I know it looks like chat's a little bit slow today, but I see some of you are in here. So oh, yeah, Tiffany's talking about virtual school being expensive as well, and that is definitely true. Um, it seems like any sort, no matter what approach you take to a child's education, it's pretty costly. So let's see. It says I've been trying to get personal help, but they keep opening up different websites and trying to tell me another website. Is there something else I can do to get the help? Please and thank you. So you can reach out directly to the resources that we went over in today's video, and they should be able to help you directly. I always refer back to low-income-relief.com because I'm able to update that list very quickly. In fact, I went in today and in our EBT discount list that I just talked to you guys about yesterday, but I found another one this morning, so I went in and I updated it, and it takes like 2 seconds. So that's why I always refer to that website because it's just something that's easier to update than videos. But I definitely understand the frustration of being routed from one place to another. So I would just reach out to the organizations that we went over today directly. Let's see. Our local churches and food banks and some family, friends, and neighbors all pitch in to help get school supplies for people who can't afford them. We try not to let one single kid get left out. That is awesome, and it's a very important point. So I'm pretty active in my church community, and every year we're doing drives for different things. And the community is pretty small, but we do what we can to support it. So don't underestimate the power of reaching out to your local food bank, to your local church, different organizations in your area. You don't have to be pushy. It doesn't have to be awkward. Just a quick, hey, is this something that you guys offer help with, or have you considered, offering help with this? And then see what they say. I mean, the worst they can do is say no, right? But if you don't ask, you might miss out on something that's out there. So, oh, thank you, Amanda, for being here. I really appreciate that you're here to show your support. That really, really helps. There are definitely some topics that I've had to kind of shy away from making videos on, even though I know they can be helpful to some people because they just don't get attention, and then our channel just kind of dies out because of the way that the algorithms work. So I always appreciate when people jump in and watch the videos, even if they're not completely relevant to you. Hopefully, you can use this information to help somebody that you know. Uh, let's see. Ooh, Jeanette's pointing out that she's got 6 grandchildren going back to school and one going to college this year. If you guys would like to see me do a follow up on this with resources for college kids, I'm happy to look into that as well. I know this video specifically was very geared to like the K-12 crowd, but there are other resources out there that can help the college students as well. You know what? I just remembered I should have put this in the slides. If you guys haven't already seen our videos on how to get a free laptop or a free computer, a lot of those are open to K-12 and college students as well. So if that is something that you could use, definitely go check out that other video. We have another video on how to get discounted internet access, which, I mean, you can't really do any form of education right now without some form of internet connection, right? Like internet is so essential. And there are many, many programs out there that will provide that access at a discount if you have SNAP, Medicaid, SSI, a child gets free or reduced student meals, all of that stuff. And we have a separate video that goes into detail on those as well. So definitely go check those out. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, and seeing comments saying that you're interested in college help. So I will do some research and I will hop back on here in another video to go over all of that. I think that about wraps it up. I hope I'm seeing all the chat comments here. I always worry that I'm going to miss one of you because I don't want any of you to feel like you're being ignored. You're all very important to me. So, with that in mind, looks like it's time for me to wrap up today. But thank you so much for being here. I hope these resources were helpful to you, and I will be back soon with more ways that you can save money and get free stuff. I'll see you later.